Hi guys, my name is Jana. For those of you who don't know me yet, I changed my intro just a little bit. I wanted to show you something. I have 3 different channels. Channel 1 is my channel for the advanced beaters. This middle channel is the channel for the beginning beaters. And my third channel is for those of you who would like to be challenged. Beginning beaters, if you came here, just pause the video for a second. And click on my little icon. If you never beated before, then click on View. Choose Oldest first, and you can see where the basic beginning beating starts. Now, I'm working my way up to get a little bit more advanced every time with every video, and as you can see, there's plenty of them on there. In about 3 months you should be up to the level where you can do any of them. Just choose one, pick one, and you're good to go. You can just go back to browse videos to see the latest videos, and if you really like my channel, then please subscribe. Thank you. Let's start beating now.
Hello. What you doing?
Only fun when you can't go out.
Oh, you're so cute. You're so cute and adorable. Yes, you are. Want to smell this? Oh.
Hi guys, good afternoon. This is gonna be one of the hardest videos emotionally I will ever make, and that's because last Wednesday I took my Garfield to the vet, and when I took him out of the box, the vet just looked at me and I looked at her and I said, "It's time, isn't it?" And she nodded. So yesterday he was put asleep. The vet came to the house. But in between Wednesday and yesterday, I took my beads downstairs and I designed this Christmas ornament. I asked the ladies on Facebook what they would call it, and somebody came up with Garfield Star, so it's gonna be Garfield Star. But for me it is a little ornament that you can either hang on your window with one of these and you can also put a hook in there and hang it in your tree. It's really pretty, and to me it now symbolizes a pet that was loved and lost. So if you have pets that were lost and loved, then, you know, maybe you would like to make this. I'm going to be talking about Garfield. I would like to, you know, for me making videos is therapeutic, among other things. And I would like to tell about Garfield and how we got him and where he came from and all that kind of stuff. But if you don't like to hear about that, then I suggest you just go to the picture channel. There's no talking there, and there's just explaining with pictures how this is made. So just in case you want to get out of here, the link is underneath the video in the area description, and you can just go there. So, okay, but I will also explain, of course, how this works. You need a lot of stuff. Well, actually, I used a lot of stuff. As you can see by the material list I put on the beginning of this video. First of all, you will need about 2 arm spans wide of thread, fireline, and we're going to start off with a bicone, 4 millimeters, and then 11 galvanized gold, and you're going to do that 6 times until you wind up with the galvanized gold as the last one. Okay, I'm going to put this up here a little bit so I got some room to work. I'll pull this all the way down. And you got about this much thread left over. That will be enough. And we're going to go through all these beads again. Make sure you get them all. through. And double knot. 1 and 2. And now we go into the bicone, 4mm. Pull that through, pull the knot in there. And I'm using a light green 15-0 to begin with. I pick up 3 super duos and a light green, and I'm going back into that same bicone, and I'm going to push it through the galvanized gold and 4mm. And I'm going to do that all the way around. So picking up those 15-0 again, 3, 15-0, bicone, push it through into the seat bead and another bicone and push it through. Okay, so while I do that all the way around, I want to tell you about Garfield. I had a cat prior to Garfield. His name was Quincy, and I lost that cat when he was only 8 years old, but I was still alone then. I wasn't married. I lived here, and well, Quincy, and it was just Quincy and me, and we would lay in front of the television and watch television together, and she would snuggle up in my arms. And there was this orange cat. He was sitting on the shed outside, and he was looking in, like, you know, watching me and Quincy all snuggled together. It's almost like he was a little jealous, you know, that, I don't know. We didn't know, I didn't know where he was from. I don't know who he belonged to, so I wasn't too worried about that. There's a lot of cats walking around in this area outside. And one day, actually, during the summer, Quincy was taunting him while he was sitting on the shed, and he actually came down the shed and ran after her into our house, and after my cat, who, you know, was a coward and ran upstairs, so I had to intervene and chase that orange cat outside. And I told him not to come back, I remember that. But anyway, I lost Quincy fairly early. She was only like 8 years old. She got sick during the winter, summer. She got sick, and then things were pretty... She got sick, and things went pretty fast after that. Okay, I'm adding my last one. I'm going into the bicone, the 11-0, and the bicone. And putting that last one on there. Going up in the 15-0, the green one, into the super duo, and I'm going into the top super duo and the next one right there. And I'm gonna pick up another green, which is my dark green. And I'm also going to pick up red. These are also 15-0, so I'm going to pick up 2 green, 1 red, 2 green. Going back into top holes. Going back up 2 green. And these are the satin that I normally don't use, but because I'm going to go through them several times, I'm okay with those now. So I pick up 2 satins, delicate beads, going down 2 green, pull that through, going back into the 2 super duos, picking up a 3mm AB, going into the next Super Duo. I'm going to pick up galvanized gold 11-0, red, and another galvanized gold, going back into that middle Super Duo of 3. And I'm going to go back up the galvanized gold and picking up 2 delicas again into the gold, pulling that through into the Super Duo again, picking up another 3mm bicone, going into 2, and now I just repeat the steps from here on out. So that's 2 green, 1 red, 2 green, and going around. So as I go around, I'll continue my story. Anyway, Garfield wasn't welcome in my house. Of course, I had a cat, but I lost her, and I lost her in the beginning of the summer, I think. And at the end of the summer, Garfield was just kind of lurking around, and I still didn't know who he belonged to, but he was sitting on our shed, and you know, I caught him being in the backyard a couple of times, you know, coming down, and I eventually gave him something to eat because he looked so skinny. And I still had the scratch pole from that I bought for Quincy, because I wasn't able to just, you know, take it apart and put it in the shed. Or so after a while, Garfield started coming around more often, and we started feeding him, and one day he came in the house, and I allowed it, so did my husband. We didn't mind. And then one day he came into the house and slept over, and after that he went back out again. So he was definitely an outside cat. And then the day after that he came over, he slept over, and he stayed until morning. And you know, we still had I got some cat food and I fed him, and that's how Garfield came into our life. And then I found out that the cat, I started asking around who he belonged to, and then turned out that the next door neighbor, it was her cat. I didn't even know that. But so I went to the next door neighbor and I knocked on the door, and I said, I think your cat is with us, is staying with us. And she said, I was wondering where he went. And I said, well, he's okay, he's with us. She said, well, that's okay. I got another cat. I got 3 dogs, two kids, a husband. So, you know, if he doesn't want to leave, it's fine with me if it's fine with you. And I said, yeah, it's fine. I said, how old is he? And she said, well, I don't know. I found him in the shed. And he was obviously sleeping in our shed. And she said she just brought him in because he seemed friendly, and she started feeding him, and then he just kind of stayed with them. But yeah, she didn't mind. She had a house full of animals anyway, so she gave me his papers that he had his shots and everything. And after I said, how old is he? She said, I don't know. So after that, I had him for a while, and I took him to the vet, and he got estimated that he was about 8 years old, and that was now 19 years and 1 month ago, so he actually made it to 19. But I was worried because I lost Quincy when she was only 8, and if this cat was already 8 years old, I mean, that worried me. But well, you know, when they walk into your house, and I was still grieving over Quincy, I was pretty much fine with that. It dulled the pain. It helped me with the pain of losing a cat. So that was fine. And my husband, he loved him too. He was nuts about this cat, and we always make this joke that I'm the mommy and he's the slave, and that really was the truth. And I wanted to just share some moments that were just so funny and lovable. And yeah, see, Garfield always came to the bedroom and slept with us on the bed, and I tried to get him off, but my husband let him back on. But eventually I caved there, so I guess I was a little bit of a slave too. And Garfield would come and sleep on my head. That's how he would start. He had this little ritual. Start with sleeping on my head, then after a while crawl under the blankets, sleep in my arms, put his head on the pillow like a regular human being, and then somewhere in the middle of the night he would get up and he would walk over to my hubby, and he would wake up. When I would wake up, I would find him in my hubby's arms. So that was like a ritual he had. He would stick his nose into my hair very deeply, and sometimes he would sleep on my head, and it would really hurt when I would wake up the next morning. But I didn't mind, you know. I mean, he was snuggling up, and I was fine with that. The one thing, however, my husband did not allow was Garfield to jump on the counter, which of the kitchen, which he did a lot actually. And I would, so I would walk down in the morning, you know, come down the stairs, and I would hear this thud, you know, doink, where he just jumped down the counter, so I wouldn't catch him there. And that was really funny because he would look there and stand there just all innocent, like, well, what? I didn't do anything. Me on the counter? No, I wasn't on the counter. But yeah, he was there, and you know, he was just so lovable. He would, when we would go to sleep, or I would go to bed, or my husband would go to bed, he would basically race you up the stairs and stand at the top of the stairs waiting for you, like with that kind of face that says, well, you know, I beat your fat ass up the stairs, didn't I? And but you know, after he turned about 16, he had a hard time getting up the stairs, and it just got harder and harder for him. And I remember one day, this was really hilarious, when I came downstairs, this was during the day, so I must have gone upstairs. I don't exactly know what I was doing, but I must have gone upstairs, because I smoke up here too, so I must have had a smoke or something. And I came back downstairs like 10 minutes later or 20 minutes later, and my cat was gone. And he hadn't left the house for a long time, and he was getting older, so I was really, really worried, like, where the hell's my cat, you know? I was looking all over the place, and I know he wasn't upstairs because he didn't go upstairs. He wasn't upstairs because I just came from upstairs, so I know he wasn't there. And I was looking all over for him, and I couldn't find him, and I was calling for him, and I was going like, Garfield, where are you? Garfield, come on. And I just heard this really pathetic meow. And I thought, like, where the hell is that coming from? And I was calling at him, and I said, Garfield, come on, talk to mommy, let me know where you are. And I heard meow. And then I saw this head stick out of the trash can. And it turned out that after we fed him fish, he was obviously not done eating, and we threw the leftover fish in the trash can, and he just kind of dove in the trash can. And it was really funny because, you know, he had his head stuck out, but he couldn't get out because it's like a tube going down. So he could get in, but he couldn't get out. And that paw would be on the side also, you know, like trying to get out and tapping. That was really funny. And I I thought about going upstairs and get a camera and tape that so my husband could see that, but I felt so sorry for him that he was stuck in there that I lifted up the lid and got him out, that poor cat, but it was really hilarious. And he brought a lot of fun into this house. He was really a funny cat, and but yeah, after a while he got old, he couldn't come up the stairs anymore, and we kept him downstairs in his basket. That's when the baskets came into the house, so he would be comfortable and feel secure, you know, because even the pillows didn't do it anymore. They were too hard for his body. And that was hard, you know, when you're used with your cat sleeping on your pillow, then suddenly one day to the next, he's not there anymore. He tried to make it upstairs one more time, and it was really, really hard for him, and he couldn't make it downstairs in time. He pooped in my office, which I didn't mind. I wasn't mad or anything. I mean, he just couldn't make it downstairs in time to go to the kitty litter. So after that, he decided basically to stay downstairs. My husband tried to carry him up the stairs one more time, and he was just screaming and yelling. And as soon as my husband was up the stairs, he said, "Okay, okay, I'll take you downstairs, okay." And then everything was fine again. So we left him downstairs for that. But because this is a cat that, because this cat, he was so snuggly. You know, he always snuggled up to you, and, you know, you could pet him all day long. He wouldn't be upset. It wouldn't irritate him. Just, you know, as long as you gave him attention, that was fine with him. And he just needed so much love and so much care and so much attention that it must have been hard for him to not be able to sleep with us upstairs anymore. But we still had him. We were grateful, and every morning when we came downstairs, we would say good morning, and he would go meow. And it's like he said good morning back. So that was pretty cool. Okay, back to business. I'm going to add my last 3mm bicone here. I'm going to push that through the two Super Duos. Pull that through. I'm going to turn it around. Now we're going to do the next row. Going to go up to size 15 dark greens and the Delica bead. Pull that through. And I'm going to pick up a Delica bead and a seed bead size 15 and I'm going to go down all the way and into the 3mm. Pull that through. And you gotta be careful with this. The beads need to face each other. So if you go Delica seed bead, then you need to go seed bead Delica. Delica seed bead. So that basically means that, you know, the next one gets mirrored. So, and it doesn't really matter where you start. But as long as you do that, you're okay. So this is seed bead, Delica. And now we're going to go down, seed bead and the Delica into the 3mm. And only do this if it's daytime. 2 seed beads up and into the Delica. Because I tried to do this at night, and then I found out the next day that I skipped a couple of beads. So now we got the Delica here on this side. So that means Delica seed bead, Delica seed bead. So seed bead across each other, and Delica across each other on the other side. So going down and going up. And that's how we're going to go this round around all the way. So, oh, here was also a funny story. I was standing outside talking to the neighbor, the one that used to own Garfield. And I was talking to her and you know, asking like, do you know where he came from? No, I found him in the shed. And at a certain point, the door was open. I left the door open, so Garfield came and walked outside and stood behind my legs, looking at the neighbor. And she said, "Hi, Garfield," and she bent down to pet him. And I never saw a cat run inside to the house so fast. Oh my god, lightning speed. I swear, that cat, he just ran inside of the house, and she never got to pet him, and she just went, well, you know, he's pretending like I abused him or something. And I know she didn't, but he was so happy with us. I think he was a little scared there. She came to get him back. This was like maybe when was about 6 months in, when he was about 6 months with us, I mean. And I guess he still feared he had to go back. But, you know, not to worry, he stayed with us. And, oh, another funny story is also when my husband, he woke up laughing, and he woke me up because he was laughing. And I asked him, like, well, why are you laughing? And he said, well, it was hilarious. He said, Garfield was just sitting there, and he was taking his paw and going, you know, like that with my earlobe. And he just wouldn't stop. He was just flapping his paw against my earlobe. Like, what the hell is that? What kind of thing is that? So, yeah, plenty of funny stories to tell about my cat. But we also got to do some beading. I want to get this done, and also I need to focus a little bit. And this is what I want you guys to do, because, you know, losing a pet is always hard, and for everybody, including me. But I don't want you to say you're sorry that I lost him, because I'm trying to remember him, and I'm trying to share the fun stories. So if you lost a pet, and then just, you know, in the comment section, add a fun story for me to read. Something to laugh about, something to remember your pet by. So that would be really nice, instead of everybody getting sad. And I think it would also be nice for other people to read who just recently lost their pets like I did, or not too long ago, you know. And to read funny stories about other people's pets. Not cats. Might be turtle or, you know, parrot. Who knows? Who knows what you had. But, you know, yeah, that would be fun to read fun stories, funny stories about silly things that your pet did that you want to share. I would like to read those. So, there's a lot of people. I shared the whole, I walked through the whole thing on Facebook, including adding that it was done. Everything, you know, Garfield went to heaven, and I got a lot of support, and I thank all those people that were on Facebook for supporting me, and, you know, but, you know, right now, I think it's time to share fun stories and loving stories and stories about what made them so worthwhile having them in your life. And Garfield he was worth it. And even including the hurt, it's worth it. Okay, finished round 2. Now we're going to do round 3, and we're basically going to do exactly the same. We're going to pick up the delica bead, and we're going to pick up the seed bead, and we're just going to go, so now it's easier because now you can just see that you need to do the seed bead last, and we're just going to go through all these again. And, well, you might say maybe I don't sound too heartbroken to you, but yesterday something really amazing happened, and remember I told you that Garfield would be... Oh, you gotta be careful that... You go through all of them. And yesterday I couldn't sleep, you know, I was just hurting so bad. And my husband woke up around 5 o'clock. He came downstairs, asked me how I was doing, and we got started to talk about all these stories I've been telling you. Do you remember? Remember this and remember that. And suddenly, I have a really small house, My kitchen is in my living room, and my couch is against a sort of a bar that separates the kitchen from the living room. But you can still, you know, if you stand in my living room, you see my kitchen. And as I was talking to my husband, both of us heard this big thud sound, you know, and it sounded exactly like Garfield jumping off the kitchen counter on the carpet. Exactly, and I'm pretty sure it was, because it was 5 o'clock in the morning, and I checked. I got up and I walked around the bar, and there was nothing there that sounded, could have made that sound of that thought. And it was a familiar thought, because he used to do that all the time when we would come downstairs, and you know, he would be on the counter. He would just make sure his ass was off there before he would get scolded at, and like pretend nothing was ever there and he was never on the counter. So yeah, we both heard it, and it made me smile, and it was easier to sleep. So I went to bed at about 5:15, got up at 11, and then the hard part, of course, starts again, because you wake up and you realize you don't have your cat anymore. And I also realized I had to pick up his ashes. His ashes are now in the shed, and my husband is awake, and as soon as I finish this blah 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 blah, let me try that again. As soon as I finish this video, me and my husband will get a stone out of the backyard and dig a hole underneath it, and then put his ashes underneath it, so he will be in the in the backyard with us forever. Well, not forever, because hopefully we'll be moving, but you know, his remains will be there. So this is that part, and now there's a really loud neighbor playing loud music from his car, and ooh, I can't wait to move from this place. Yeah, so basically this is it, going all the way around, almost there, and it's almost finished. But anyway, I hope that this Christmas there will be a lot of these hanging in Christmas trees, or made as pendants or as earrings, as sort of a remembrance to all you who lost your pets. And it would be fun to see if you make them, you know, and you hang them up in your Christmas tree, or you hang them up on your window, or you make a pendant of them. Please share them with me on Facebook. It would be nice to see come Christmas how many of you have hung them in Christmas trees, or hung them on the window as sort of a sun catcher. And yeah, I think that would be nice to see. But you know, the thing we always wondered about was, like, where the hell did he come from? Whose cat was it? Because obviously the neighbor took him in. He was friendly, so he must have been used to people. And he was very cuddly. He needed a lot of attention. And obviously he felt better off with us to get that attention. Maybe it was because he already saw that Quincy was in my arms all the time, you know, when we would be watching television together, and he would be sitting on outside on the shed, the rooftop of the shed. So we always wondered about that, and not just me, but also the neighbor, and she had really no idea. So, and about a year and a half, no, about 2 years ago, my best friend, who lives down the street, she had a birthday, and I was talking to her mom. By the way, I call her mom also Mom, and because I don't think it's very friendly to call somebody that is your best friend's mom by her first name. Since I've known her for like 25 years, she's also basically like a mom to me. So, and she was hurting because her doggy was, would soon be going to heaven. And let me break this story up for now to show you the next row. Going back up into 3 delicas, pull that through. And now on the side of the seed beads, we're going to add the 4mm bicone. And in between the delicas, we're going to add 3mm, and we need 4mm, so we're going to also add 2 seed beads in between there. So when you go up, first you're going to do delica, seed bead, gonna go down, pull that straight, get the 4mm, skip 1 seed bead, go into the next one, straighten that out a bit, pull that tight, well, not too tight, give it some room. And next you pick up your seed bead and your delica, and you go 2 down, pull that through, and position that correctly. And now you're going to pick up the seed bead, the 3mm, and the seed bead. So you're going to go in between the first and the second. You're going to go up. Pull that through. And if you can still see a little bit of thread here, just pull that and then pull that so that that little bit of thread is gone. And pick up the delica and the seed bead again, and then you go 1 seed bead down, pull that through, and you add the bicone again, skip 1 seed bead, go into the next, pull that through, seed bead, delica, 2 down, and then seed bead, 3mm seed bead again, go up. So that's what you're going to be doing all the way around. So yes, I was talking to Wilma's mother, and she would soon have to put her doggy to sleep. So she had her doggy with her, and she was real sad, and I took some pictures of the doggy, and we got talking about animals, and she said it hurt her so much she didn't want another dog, and I said, well, how about a cat? I said, I got a cat, and he's a joy in my life. And she said, oh no, I'm not going to start with another cat again. And I said, no, well, why not? She said, well, I had one, it was an orange one, and he had like a tail of a fox, you know, he was so red, he had a fox collar. And I said, oh, well, that's interesting, I also have a red cat. And she said, yeah, but, you know, this one, he pooped in the house. And I said, yes, that's weird. So did mine in the beginning when we first got him. And I told her about the neighbor saying, like, well, Garfield poops in the house, and that's the one thing I don't like about him, but I can't get him to go on the kitty litter. And, well, 3 days later, I already had him on the kitty litter because I got some sprays from the pet shop where, you know, you spray and you can't poop here and you can't pee here, and then you spray some in the kitty litter that says this is where you need to poop and pee. So that was like 3 days, and that was all taken care of. But anyway, I guess some people just have a hard time raising pets. I don't know. Some cats just refuse, I guess, also with the sprays. But anyway, that was all settled with me. But I was saying, oh, yeah, I was telling her mom, Wilma's mom, my best friend's mom, that I got that settled with the spray, and you know, but you know, Garfield used to come and tell you if he pooped or peed, and you know, he would bother you until you found where he pooped or peed, and he still did that when he went on the kitty litter, because he really never went on the kitty litter twice if he pooped in there already. So he was a very, very clean cat, and if there was too much pee in that kitty litter, he wouldn't poop on there either. He would just yell and scream at you until you would clean that kitty litter. He finally figured out that what he wanted was cleaning that kitty litter for him. And then you would clean the kitty litter, and then 5 minutes later, it was all dirty again. You could start all over again. So that was my funny cat. But anyway, yeah, her mom said, like, I couldn't get that cat to go on the kitty litter. So I said, yeah, well, I couldn't get mine on it too, but, you know, I got some sprays and blah, blah, blah. And I said, what happened to your cat? And she said, well, I actually don't know. I said, what do you mean you don't know? She said, well, I actually went on vacation, and I brought this cat over here. And, you know, well, my sister was supposed to house sit and take care of the cat. And then one day, people came to visit, and he ran outside, and they looked for him for 2 days, but then they never found him again. And then I said, Mom, I got good news for you. I said, your cat has had a wonderful life. I found him. I'm pretty sure I'm the one that found him. He's living with me now, and she said, oh, can I see him? And I went to go get him because my best friend only lives down the street. So I said, do you recognize him? And she said, no, he's too gray. He used to be like the color of a fox. He used to be so orange. And of course, Garfield by then already had turned gray, because this was like 2 years ago this happened. So, but I'm pretty sure that was the same cat. I mean, we finally figured out where he came from. And that was very nice to know what his background was. And Wilma's mom, she basically got him from birth. So it was nice to know, finally, what the background was. I asked her if she remembered what his name was, and, you know, we're talking like 10 years later or 9 years later, and she said, no, I really can't remember. I didn't have him that long. So she probably got him when he was about 8 or 9 months, maybe, and she had him for like 2 years, maybe 3 years, before he ran away, because he was with the neighbors when my first cat was still alive. So he was, yeah, she couldn't remember what she named him, which, you know, I thought, like, oh darn, too bad. But that's where Garfield came from. He came all the way from what we call Lelystad, and ran away here, but didn't go do the walk home like a lot of pets do, and just stayed here. I guess he liked the neighborhood, and he hung around, and then he got fed by all kinds of people here, because, you know, we got a very cat-friendly neighborhood, and people are always feeding other people's cat. So I guess he liked it, and he figured, well, I got my freedom, I'll live in the shed. And then I guess after a while he decided freedom isn't everything either, that he needed a slave, at least. And he'll tolerate the mommy to go along with that. I got some white thread here in between, so I'm just going to gently pull everything a little bit tighter together. There. And it's okay if it still moves a little bit, but as long as you don't see too much white thread, it's okay. So that was the story of Garfield. And over the years there would be many stories to tell, but you know, these were the funniest and the most memorable, and I hope you will be sharing your most funniest and most memorable moments of your pet with me in the comment section. And I say, let's go finish this up. We're almost there. So, adding the 4mm, going in, and one more seat bead, one more delica, going through. And one more time red 15-0 and 3 millimeters, and going up 2. I'm gonna go down 2 seed beads now. Going into the 4 millimeter. I'm gonna pick up 4 delicas. Going back into my 4 millimeter. I'm gonna go up 2 delicas. Picking up a galvanized gold, going down 2 delicas. Going back into the 4 millimeter. Going up to 2 delicas and the galvanized gold. I'm going to pick up a 15-0 light green, 2 delicas, and a 15-0 light green. Going into the delica. And now I'm going into the 2 seed beads by themselves. And I'm just doing this so there won't be any white thread showing on the side. So going back into the galvanized. Back into the 2 delicas. I'm going to turn it around. Get some more delicas, or some more into the 2 seed beads. Get some more seed beads. Get 1. Go back in there. Pull through. And back in. Getting another one. Get that one out of the way. Getting another one. Into the second one. Pull through. And in. Going in the first 2. Oh. Going into the first 2. Going into the second row. I'm going to turn it around again. Picking up a delica. Going back into the first one. Going in. And second one. Going in. And then second row. Third row. Turning it around again, and we're gonna do 7 of these. So this is 3. Four. Back in 3. Back in 4. Turning it around. Doing number 5. And through. And that's row number 5. Going back in 4. Doing 5. Turning it around. Row 6. And pull that through. And 6 again. And push it through. Into 5. Into 6, and 1 more. And I got a little bit of video for you from Garfield from the olden days, just in case you feel a little bit sad and you know, you get remembered of your own pet. I got something that will really make you laugh. I think that was the most hysterical moment ever, you know. Well, maybe except for the trash can. That was pretty hysterical also. But I got something on video that I really want to share with you. So I got 7, going back through 6, and going back through 7, and now I'm going into the 15-0 and the galvanized, pulling that together, up in the green, and now you got to be careful. This is the side that you just added. Go through the 2 last ones. And just pull that all together. And go down in the green one again and come out of the galvanized. Back into the 2 galvanized. Into the galvanized. Go down into 2 delicas, and if you pull that a little loose like I did, just go back into the bicone, up into 2 delicas, and in the galvanized, let's go around in there again, make sure that that is all tied up, and just go down into the bicone again. And now we're going to go down into 2 of 4, into the galvanized and into the 3mm. And what we're going to do next is we're going to go all around, but we're not going to be adding. We're just going to reposition the beads in so that they look a little bit better again, because you added some stuff in between. You might want to straighten it out. So, but don't pull too hard, just kind of make sure that that goes down. So all the way around. And up in that 3mm. So that's pretty self-explanatory. Nothing much happening, just going all the way around. Okay, that won't come along. Get in there. Okay, let me see if I can think of another good Garfield story while I think about this one. Oh, he definitely was the king of the neighborhood. He whooped any kitty's ass. Was this poor, like, kitten? It was still a kitten. He was sitting on the rooftop where Garfield used to sit, and we made sure there were no ladders up or down anymore, so it was really hard to get up there. And at a certain point we heard a noise, and we saw that cat climbing straight up on the fence to whoop this kitty's ass. My husband had to actually get between them and take Garfield down from the fence while the one he was climbing up to, straight up to. I mean, I never saw a cat do that, climb straight up to, like, he just did it like it was a ladder or something, but, oh my God. And yeah, my husband Jeff, he had to just run outside and grab Garfield and pull him from the wall, actually, and so he wouldn't whoop this poor kitty's ass. And the kitty was just sitting there, you know, he was just waiting for his ass to be whooped, I guess. But nobody was to even as much as look inside of our backyard when he was around. He was the king of the neighborhood. And yeah, I noticed that he was the king of the neighborhood, and one could say, well, one can argue the fact, but he almost whooped poor Quincy's ass too. So if I hadn't stepped in between, so that was something that worried me, that you know, one day he would get hurt because he would be hurting somebody else's cat in the neighborhood, and that the owners might not take lightly to it. You know, that was one of my worries. But that was all over when he decided he didn't want to go outside anymore. He didn't care who was sitting on the shed. He made his mark. He made his point. And his legacy will go on. I think. I hope. I don't know. I'm not sure. But anyway, yeah, I miss that cat. But I know it's pure selfish. It's about, like, I can't pet him anymore. Way, so it's basically self-pity. But he was really sick and he was really hurting. And when we took him home from the vet, when I came home from the vet, I already saw it in his eyes, you know, like, I had it. Please let me go. And we talked to him a lot in the last couple of days. That just hold on a little bit longer, just give mommy and daddy some time, and you know. And he got fed everything we could feed him, and oh my god, I went out of my way to get everything that he liked, and it was pure joy if he ate or drank anything. I actually got him tuna, cans of tuna, because I know he liked the juice, and he didn't eat the tuna anymore. But he still drank the juice, so, you know, everything was a victory. Okay, now I'm going around down here again. So I went all the way around, and now I'm going to go up again, just to make sure that that area also is not going to pull all that much. Like that. And now I'm going to go down, and this is why you have 2 arm spans, because of all this stuff that we're going to do now. Right there. So that looks good. And now, because we've been pulling these bicones off by going from here to here, we're going to go one more time around through the bicones. And don't pull it too tightly, just kind of straighten it out so that the ornament stays flexible. You don't want it to get stiff, because then it's going to curve in. Well, a little curve is okay, but you don't want it to curve in too much if you pull this too tight. So, going through all the super duos. And into the bicones, 3mm only, and the super duos. So that's one more round, all the way. And my thread is really damaged right now due to all them Delica beads. But that's what I said. It's those Delica beads are so sharp, so sharp. But because we went around several times, and then one last round, I'm okay with it. It will last. It will be okay. And almost done. So this little part goes around. And in there. and through. And I made a whole bunch of these now. So I'm thinking I'll probably put them in the Etsy shop, because it's really still very therapeutic to work on them. I don't know how long they will continue to be there, but I guess until I move on to the next project. I'm gonna go through 2 more, and I want to go through the whole set of 3, the 3 Super Duos, so I'm gonna go into 2 more. And this is where my thread is. I'm going to go step down now, go through the bottom rows into the Super Duo and the size 15/0 seed bead. And now I just got to meet up with this guy, so I'm just going to go over there and meet up with the other thread. And maybe it's a good plan to just kind of go around a full circle instead of just knotting up there. Make it a good circle. So, okay, going around again until I bump into that thread again. And if you got 2 arm spans wide, you should have enough thread. So just and now coming out in front of that other thread, and I'm going to pull that together. Don't pull too hard. You also don't want the in the middle to go too stiff, and just get that knot away from where you cut it off. So I'm just going to go around and I think I like to come out of the bicone before I cut this off. There. Pulling my knot in. Boop, boop. Yep. Cut. And got a little thread left over. I'll get the other side on there. And that was going in that direction. And then you cut that off. And now you just get one of those hooks that you use to hang the balls on the Christmas tree, and you hang them on there, or you get one of these sucky thingies and then just wire wrap around here and wire wrap around here and just hang it on the window. So I hope you liked it. And don't forget to share your stories, your funny stories with me in the comment section. I really love to see those. And I see you guys in the next video.